Autofocus. We are live. Whoops. Hang on. Checking the settings. Get that off. Apply. Back. Whoops. Close. Back to Chrome. There we go. Now we are live. Now we're cooking. We are. Okay. Did you get your
I
chili?
think we are anyway.
Should I heat it up and eat it? That for me?
That's for you. That bowl's for you.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't put the spoon in the microwave. Thank you. Okay. So, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. We're a little out of sorts because we don't usually do this on Friday. And we don't usually do it at 5:30. We're usually on the hour. So it's a little bit strange, and our brains are having a moment to catch up to us. but I can get that little feather on there. There we go. Okay. We got a couple fun things to do today. If you would like to craft along with us, let's see who's here. Sandy's here. Hello, Miss Sandy.
Hello, Cookie Crumble.
Do you have crumble cookies there in Louisiana? Do you have crumble cookies?
No, we don't have that. No, we know.
Oh, crumble cookies are so good.
No, we don't have
Sandy,
that.
how you feeling? Hi, Laura. Not 100% awake, but you're here. So, awesome.
Christy here.
Christy's here.
Oh,
Christy, how are you feeling? Oh my goodness. Christy just had surgery, major surgery. So she's either feeling really good because nothing's worn off, or she's in great pain because the numbing and the pain meds have worn off. Bonnie, didn't get your box yet? Oh, darn it. When we're done here, I will go in and take a quick look and just see where yours is. Everybody's that messaged me said their tracking said that they would get it Friday or Saturday, and then they all were arriving on Thursday. I do know there was a couple that arrived today. So darn it, Bonnie. I hope it gets there. Well, today's Saturday. Shoot. They're not going to deliver on Sunday.
Friday.
Oh, today's Friday?
Yes. See, you guys, I was messed up yesterday because when I took my pills, I missed a day. So I was a day behind on my pill.
I'm so messed up. Okay, today's Friday. Good, then Bonnie should get it tomorrow. Oh, scaring me. Bah. Yeah, Laura's box isn't there yet. It is on the dog sled.
Yeah, well,
that's funny, Laura. That is true. I need to send Laura's and Glennis and Lucy out early so that they get them by the time everybody else does. Hello, Julie. Good to see you. Let's see. I'm disappointed too, Bonnie. I wanted you to be able to craft along. You can still craft along. You just won't be able to use those things. Then you'll have to make it all again. So let's see here. All right. So as people will continue to come in, let me tell you what tools and things I'm going to be using tonight. So if you want to grab a few things, you'll have a minute to do that. If you've got your Happy Paper box handy, then that's half of it right there, because we're going to use things from the Happy Paper box. I am also going to use other scraps. So let me grab this tray right here. I'm going to take the camera just for a minute so I can go over some of the things. So I've got tissue paper from the box, and I've got some other, these are others, just random scraps here. I have a few things that I may fussy cut out. I fussy cut out a couple clocks or punched them out. And these are just scraps like gel prints and things, and some of the tissue paper that I already tore up making a sample. And then these are just some scraps too. So if you have some scraps handy, you might want to use those. And I need another desk to set all this stuff on. Goodness. Okay, I am also going to use a paper trimmer, and I'll just use a small one. So I'll use a paper trimmer. I am going to use an eyelet And so I'll punch holes here. I will use an eyelet. So I'll set my eyelet with my crocodile. Just telling you what I'm going to use. So if you want to grab whatever you have that can work in that manner, or kind of know, what direction we're going. And it doesn't mean you have to do everything exactly the same as I'm doing either. I'm going to use an embossing machine here. You only need one embossing folder. I grabbed 3. And if you want to grab an embossing folder, let's see. If I do that, is it bright enough? Is that still bright enough to see? I moved the light that was just right on there. Let me see. Let me look at YouTube. It's giving it a second to catch up there. All right, there, move the light. And yeah, I think that'll be fine. Okay, so you only need one embossing folder. I grabbed 3 to show you an example. What you want to look for when you grab an embossing folder is something that has lots of design, lots of texture. Okay, something that could be a damask or like a vintage wallpaper. This one is, maybe it'll show up like that. This one is like postage and canceled postage and things like that, but it's all over the place. It's all over the place. And then this one is like a vintage wallpaper as well. So you don't want something that has a little thing here and a bunch of empty space and then something over here. You want something that has a lot of texture, a lot of design over the whole thing. So you only need one. You can use more if you want, but if you want to go grab an embossing folder, then grab one that has lots of texture. Set those aside, and I can set this aside because we don't need that yet. I'll set it, not drop it. Okay, I'm going to use some glue. You might be able to get away with a glue stick, at least for part of it, or whatever your favorite glue is for paper. I will use a corner rounder. So any corner rounder. I may use a scallop, but not necessary. But if I'll round my corners, I'm going to show you something that I do to get a top on them. We're going to use the stamp from the box, and so you'll need some ink. I grabbed a black StazOn so that it wouldn't run if I did something over the top of it. And let me bring this over here. I will use probably some scissors. I'm going to use some bulb pins. So I've got some bulb pins in here. I may use a charm, so I'm going to throw some charms in this bowl. Keep them together and get them off of my surface. Just grabbed those. So I'll put all those together. Oh, look at that cute little heart standing up on end. Can you see that it's standing straight up? That's funny. And then it flops as I move it. Okay, so I'll put those in. I'll put that one in there. Okay, so those I'll want to ink my things. So I've got my vintage photo and my inking blending brush. I will probably use a ruler. I don't have a tear ruler right by me, so I will probably use this ruler to tear. It has a metal edge, so it kind of tears just fine. I've got the washi from the box. These are the stickers from the box, and then I've got I just threw them over here with the stickers, but these are just some little clocks that I started fussy cutting some things out that I might want to use to decorate. And then I am literally going to use to decorate just little tiny things that are on my desk. I'm going to look through whatever odds and ends, bits and pieces are here and just try to use this stuff. Nothing fancy. I just had a thought right before we started that I wanted to try, and so I grabbed a couple of mousse. This is not necessary, but I will show you where I wanted to try it and how, and if you like the result, then you could do that too. But certainly not necessary. Let me grab, I may use a scrap or two of lace or fabric or something. So I've got my just a couple of scraps nearby. Okay, I'm gonna grab, I don't even know where I got these file folders. They're very old. You know how there's white and there's off-white? These are like manila folders and off manila folders. So like this is a normal manila folder, and then this is the off. I don't know what else to call it. It's like off manila, off white. It's kind of, but it just looks older. I don't know. It's almost like recycled paper, but it just looks a little older, and so it's not quite the bright manila. So I just don't have to take as long to ink it to tone it down. But we're going to do two things, and we're going to start with one. While that's drying, we'll do the second. So that's part of the second. But is Margie coming? I'm not sure. I've been back to back today and have not had a chance to talk to her. I've hardly even had a chance to check my messages this afternoon. Glynis had eye surgery today. Hi, Carrie. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Okay, who is this? If this is you on Facebook, because we are broadcasting to Facebook as well, in the description or in the post up there, there's a link that you can click that will take you to StreamYard. And if you click that link and go to StreamYard, you can tell it that it's okay to show your name. And then we can see who we're talking to, so we can say hi, because we like to say hi. But right now, we don't know who Facebook user is. So pop on over there and give StreamYard access to your name. I'm watching on YouTube, but doing chat on my phone. Awesome. Yo, it's so much easier to watch YouTube on TV or on a big screen, isn't it? And then chat on your phone because it's in front of you. There is no way I could chat on the TV. By the time I even typed in one word with my remote control, the chat would be so far past you wouldn't know what I was talking about. Okay, so here is in between running here and there and back and forth today. Oh, it was a busy day, but I really, really wanted to do this. I have been looking so forward to this Laugh and Craft. I think I put my pin in backwards. Really? Surprise. Surprise. Let me see. Yeah. Candy's like, yeah, so what's new? Oh, man. Yeah, I think I did. Why? That should just, no. I don't know. I'll play with it later. Okay. So this is a tag. And I wanted to make several of them because I wanted to do them different ways, because this one is a little bit, oh, which alarm is that? Okay, gotcha. This one's a little bit busy for me, but it's okay. It's okay. Maybe if I turn this around this way, but it's still backwards, so I'll fix it. This is a file folder, and the file folder has the tab on top, like that. Like this can become a tab, and you can use those tabs to your advantage and let them be at the top of your tag or card and let it be journaling space. So, or you can make a tab. So if I want to put a tab and I don't have one on, then I may use the tab punch, the new one that we just unboxed last week, and make a tab to put on, because I'm going to make some large cards that can go down into pockets, and then they'll have something to pull out with. And it could have a pocket on it, have journal space on the back, all kinds of different things. This one is a little bit busy. The back is collaged with some of that paper. There's some of the tissue paper from our box, and there's some more of that, and there's some old gel print scraps that I had on there. And then it's decorated, but because the back was busy with the different gel prints, by the time I put the decoration on, it's just too busy. It's just too busy. Now, I may be able to do something by going around it with Stabilo, highlighting it a little bit, but I don't know. The second thing is this little dangle, and that's going to drive me crazy. Second thing is the little dangle, which is super cute. And there are a number of people who have videos doing these little dangles on the internet, and there are, Candy and I've already thought of a bunch of different things to do, ways to use them, and different ways to do them even. But I threw that together real quick so that we could have an idea. I put an eyelet in the top here, and then with a bulb pin, put this little dangle. Now the dangles are embossed. These are embossed. That's part of that tissue paper out of our box. And these are kind of just how they came out. I don't know if you can see the embossing very well, but you can on the back. The back looks so cool. So I didn't do anything on those so that you could see them exactly as they are, but they could be, you could put words on them. You could put some, Nuvo drops or, something else on them. You could go around the edge. You could even take the corner punches and do fancy corners or fancy edges, things like that. These can become parts of any dangles. You can layer several of these and let them be a dangle, or you can mix them up with other things that you might put on a dangle. So whether it be charms like that, or other hanging beads, or tickets, maybe hang a ticket within the dangle. You could add these 2 dangles that would go on a spine of a book. They're just super fun dangles to make. And what I really liked was the process of making them. You can use them for so many other things, and just having them ready to go, having them done and ready to go, you could grab them and use them for so many other things. So that's what we're going to start with. And because it needs to dry before we can start cutting it up, here's some other pieces of it that you could just hole punch. I just hole punch those. You could put eyelets in them. These are really cool on their own because of the variation there. But if there's not much variation, I took my 8.5 by 11 piece of paper after it was done and cut it into quarters. And then I embossed each quarter by itself. Check this out. Look how cool that looks. Now without that light, that's not showing up or is it? Let's see. Can you see that embossing? There we go. Yeah. All the postage. This is one of the pieces of paper out of your box. And that postage looks so cool on the back. Look at that one. So I did all 3 of those embossing folders to give you an idea of what they would look like, and why you want them one that has a lot of texture, that has a lot of stuff going on, not just open space. Otherwise, when you cut these, you might end up with one that has absolutely nothing on it. And we're going for some cool texture. So if I came to like this one, it had some cool spray on it, overspray, but it was really kind of plain. And so I took our stamp from the box, the butterfly and vintage writing, the script, and I stamped on it before I embossed it. But then I'm looking at this one. Now this is part of that tissue paper. And I'm looking at that, and it's got that cool embossing. But then I thought maybe running a little bit of mousse over the top of the embossing might look really cool on that, and even on this one. And that's what I want to try, is doing that. So this is all one piece of paper. I cut it into 4. So what we're going to do first is create this piece of paper so we can let it dry. While it's drying, we'll create our tag, and then we'll come back to this. We'll emboss and cut. So we don't want to saturate it way too much. And that's why you might be able to use a glue stick if your glue sticks hold pretty well. It seems like most of the people that have been doing this or something similar to it say that they emboss a little easier if it's paper, not cardstock. And you can do it on anything you want, but it seems that it will emboss a little bit easier if it's on paper. So I am going to use this piece of paper. Now in your box, you've got 24 sheets of this type. There are 6 different styles, and there's 4 of each one. So we're only going to use one piece tonight. So you'll have plenty to do whatever else you want to do with it. And if you like this, then you could do it with some of the other. Now, the reason I'm using this paper and not just like plain white paper is because once these are made, it's not just the front. The back actually becomes something cool to look at as well because of the paper, because of this cool textured paper. And then you add the texture of the embossing folder. And if you wanted, you could add a little mousse or something, a little wax to pick up the edges, or even some ink very lightly over the top to pick up that embossing. But without even doing anything, the backs look really, really awesome. If I just used plain white paper, I'd go, wow, that's a really cool dangle, and then turn it over and, oh, that's just boring white on the back. So instead, they end up looking really awesome with the emboss and the cool paper. I like this one because this piece of paper specifically, because of its huge variety of color, and also because it has so much texture already in it with all of the wrinkle pattern. So that's why I like that one. Let me see if I can move things around just a tiny bit here. Okay, probably need that. All right, so I don't need my cutter right now. Now, to do the paper that you're going to...
Lisa's here and Margie's here to use
Oh, Lisa. Hi, Margie. Margie Mellon, hi. Good to see you. Hello, Elisa. Thank you for keeping me posted, because I'm having a hard time getting through this quickly and watching chat as well. And I know if we don't move quickly, we won't get through it all.
And I'll be traveling tonight, ladies, so I've got that on my mind.
Your prayers, traveling through weather all night long. She's leaving as soon as we're done. Or even if we're not, she's leaving, driving all night long. So, okay. So you'll notice on these papers that you got that both sides are exactly the same. One might be a little more intense in color than the other, but the design is the same. I love that. That was very purposeful so that you don't have to wonder about which side to use. This one seems a little more intense than the other one, so I'm going to leave that to let that be the back. And so I'm going to put this one down, and this will be my front. Now, when I've watched a bunch of people do this type of thing, and, oh, Candy, I was going to show you. This is what it reminded me of. It came off something from the grocery store.
Oh.
And it seems that some people, when they collage with small pieces, like when we just collage normally or do a master board or something. And that was a little more difficult as I watched them to work with, because you've got a lot of, where did I just set them? Right in front of me. I can use these. As you're coming down here, and especially if you put it on something heavier, but I really like just doing it on the paper, you could also go over it with glossy accents or one of the paper finishes that's matte. But I would hate to tone down. These have nice metallic on them, so I might even do something glossy over them. I don't know if you wanted to make it thicker. I'm not really worried about making them thicker. By the time it's got a layer of paper and another layer of paper over it. So it's 2 layers of paper thick. That's plenty thick. It's not being used as a tag on its own. But if you do it on cardstock and then you do small pieces of paper, it tends to break, if you will, bend and fold where they meet. It tends to not have quite the structure. What I did, seriously, where did I just set all the rest of them that were just in my hand? Like,
Wait,
that
sounds like me.
Oh, they're right here underneath the paper. What I did was put long strips. And so if you cut them this way, which is what I like to do, then even if you cut them smaller, then the whole thing is 1 strip of paper. So you don't have those breakpoints between paper where it's going to be compromised as far as its stability. Now, one of those you saw, I took and I cut it across. I wanted to see how it would look if I cut them across. So there's my 3 pieces of paper this way, and then I cut it this way. I kind of like it long, the up and down, but I also noticed that I thought on a big piece of paper, these seemed fairly thin. But if I'm going to be cutting them into smaller things, then I need to think about how thin I'm going to cut them. Because if I cut one that's an inch, 3/4 of an inch, a half an inch, it's going to be one solid piece of paper. And maybe that's what I want, then that's okay. But if I want to have, so I ended up going in and cutting where I wanted it. I want part of one and part of another, maybe a little more of one than the other. So they're not 50-50, but I still like having the color, the texture, the design of all the different things. So on the next one, the one I do right now, I'm going to try putting much thinner strips so that I'll get much more variation in when I cut them in my little dangles. So that's what I'm going to do. So you can actually cut your paper. You could cut your strips. If you pull out your scrap bin, you might already have cut strips. I want to use this. I want to use a little bit of these papers, although I don't want to use them all. They are so pretty. They're so pretty. I want to save some of them for something else. But this isn't long enough to go, and so whatever I put on the bottom, then I know I'll make that the short ones. So then I don't have that bend right in the middle if I use that. But I do have other scraps of paper. So either I will cut them or tear them. So if you want straight cut lines and have them just, back up to each other, that's totally fine. If you want to just tear strips, and that's hardly long. Well, that is long enough because I don't think I'll do any longer than that, especially if I'm going to hang them, from something. I don't want them super, super long. So I figure as long as it's, about half of the page, I could put something else down the other half. But like this can go all the way down. And other scraps, I'll find my other scraps here that I set aside. What I did is pull out these are some overspray pages and some things where I was just messing around on the gel plate, see what I could get. So those are full length. There's some more overspray pages, and it's kind of all one color, but it's not, but it's got such a nice shimmer to it. And these are some of the ones that I used earlier here, like this, and then I matted it down by putting that ink over the top of it. But this center one came from this page, and it's just got a whole bunch of mess on it, but it looks really cool here because it's got all different kinds of colors and sparkle and yeah, it looks really cool. And together they look kind of cool. So I want to cut these so I get some of different things on each of but some of them are going to end up being only that. So maybe that's where I want to go in then and add some moose or maybe a word or, even put one of these little teeny tiny numbers or something else on it. There's all kinds of things you can do. You guys know how to decorate. So let's start out by doing this paper. And so this is the side I'm going to use. And the first thing that we're going to do is just collage this page in long strips. And I tried a couple of different ways with this tissue paper in tearing it. It didn't tear really well, as you can tell, just tearing it straight like that. I did double it up and use the ruler. It's not a tear ruler, but it does have a metal edge. And I found that doubled up, so it has a little bit of structure to it, a little bit of strength, worked really, really well. So if you want to tear your tissue paper, just take the edge and double it up, you know, however much you think you might want to use. But I want to remember to make these smaller, thinner. I want them to be thinner than they were before. I want it to at least be that it could be half of that and half of something else. And if that was the case, like 1 inch is about, maybe about as wide as this ruler is about as wide as I want to go. So I'm going to try to go much thinner strips with these. Yeah, I like the shimmer that I get off of those overspray, or sometimes I just mess around on the gel plate just to see what different things will do. And I just end up with a whole mess of whatever. Pretty colors, but it's just a mess of stuff I wouldn't use in anything else. And that's perfect for collaging and these kinds of things because they are pretty colors. I'm not going to worry about that because I can glue that down and the next one can go right over the top of it. Okay, so I've got a few, well, I just as well do the last one. Okay, this one's folded in half, so I know it's going to leave one more there, and I don't want that one to be too thick either, so or too wide, I should say, not thick. It is width. It is difficult, more difficult to tear this tissue paper than it is regular paper, especially as I get to the very edge here. I probably should have just cut that one. Make it a total mess of that. Could have just cut it. End up just cutting. And all these little bitty pieces, I'm going to save these and just throw these on another collage because they're too small to use for here, but they're not too small to collage with. All right. Now these will tear a whole lot easier, but again, I want to keep them much more narrow. Okay. So when you're collaging or looking for something to do this type of thing with, don't worry about whatever pattern or design is on the paper because it will no longer be seen. And sometimes we make something and we think, oh, that's really not great. But if you cut it up into ATC size, or if you tear it up or cut it up into strips like this, it ends up being awesome because the colors are great and it has texture. Let's see. This is a long piece. So sometimes we have to get out of our own heads and remember, I'm only looking for color, texture, whatever it is. And I honestly didn't even look for specific colors on this. I just grabbed some gel plate overspray papers that were sitting in my splat box that I thought were pretty. So, but you could do it. It'd be real easy to sit down and do multiples of these at the same time. Once you're gluing, make a whole bunch of strips, and then once you're, oh look, you could look at the back side too. Don't have to use the front side only. Once you're make a bunch of strips, and then once you're gluing, just glue multiples of them down. Do multiple pages because you'll see as you after I took this and cut it into quarters because it was easier to emboss that way, and then I can cut it down from there. But you could use this quarter piece if you wanted, or you could cut that into ATC size, or you could cut it into tag size, and then add stuff to it, whatever you want to do. So it's just cool that they're embossed. When they're embossed like that, it adds so much texture and coolness. So I'm going to put this back in some candy working as well.
Oh, do we have to?
Oh, she's already cutting up her file folder.
I'm waiting for my stuff to dry now.
Oh, did you already glue it down?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a glue stick that you think might work, that will definitely probably dry faster. Definitely, probably, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Can't promise anything these days. All right, so I'm just going to start with that one on the edge and push that down. And of course, it's way longer than this piece of paper, and that's okay. I'm just going to leave it there. When I'm done, I'll cut the whole edge off and use those smaller pieces for another one. Okay, this one next to it. This one, thank goodness, is longer as well, so I don't have to worry about this white piece here and there. But I'm going to take this little white edge, that's where my gel plate ended, and put it right there on the top edge, leaving all of the colored overage on one end, because when I cut that off, I have a good 2 inches, so I can still do something with that. And let's get some of this cool tissue paper. I was so excited about these tissue papers that are 20 by 30, big enough to do multiple things with. That piece that I pulled off is also longer than my paper, so I'll have some overage of that. The tissue paper goes down great with the lips. If you don't just pull it, tear it right off with your finger. It does go down great with glue stick. I kind of bounce back and forth. I don't use glue sticks a lot, and I've been trying to lately use some of these that I have. So I kind of bounced back and forth between the glue stick and my art glitter glue, or Barely Art. I had to turn my art glitter glue upside down to get it to come down, so then I grabbed my Barely Art. Let's see. I have another. This one is some different. It's a little bit brighter. Let's see if I can get a couple of those in there too.
Now you can tell I moved my desk.
You're what?
I said you can tell I moved my desk.
Oh, because now you don't know where anything is?
No, the camera was way up in the middle of the desk. I was like, well, what the?
Oh, relation to the camera.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry, ladies.
it's okay. You know we love you.
I'd rather watch you anyway. Oh, Wendy, come in. Wendy, come in.
Wendy? Good to see you. Wendy, did your box arrive?
Getting hot now.
Oh, I'd hoped everybody's would arrive by the time we did this. Let's see. I'm going to get some more of that tissue paper in here. And I'm not going to worry if there's a little tiny gap there because it tore funky, because the paper underneath it is cool. So, all right. And one of these. I think I do have enough sticky out there. Yeah, I figured using the glue stick, it should dry a little faster. We're going to set it aside, let it completely dry while we do our tags, and then you won't be gumming up either your paper trimmer or your scissors as you're cutting that down, and your embossing folder as you emboss it. You do want it dry to emboss it so it'll emboss properly. Let's see here. Didn't mean to just get all the same kinds of papers to put on here, but I guess it doesn't really matter because they're all going to be cut up anyway. I'm going to use the back side of that one because I love that little purple bit up there. And I'm liking this EK Tools or EK Tools glue stick. It's working pretty well. I just had to learn how to not press too hard.
Yeah.
Press it too hard and it comes off everywhere and clumps, and yeah, that was me. That was all me, not the glue stick.
We figured that.
We didn't know what happened, but we knew that. We knew it was you.
Just kidding.
I know. The sad thing is, the reason I sighed is because you're right. And you're usually right.
I'm always right. What are you talking about?
I meant you're usually right about being me.
Again, I'm always right.
I need to ask Rodney about that.
He knows to agree with me.
He doesn't agree with you. Hi, Edna. Good to see you. Okay, not sure who this is. If you're the one on Facebook that said hello and gave us a little wave, click on the link that's up above in this post. So you can go to StreamYard and click. All you have to do is click in there, and it will bring your name on there like Edna's is, so that we can see who it is and say hi to you. I mean, we call you Facebook user, but I just really like saying hi to everybody. I like acknowledging that you're here because we appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. So it's fun to know who's hanging out. I mean, I guess if you didn't want us to know who it was, you probably wouldn't even say hi to begin with, right? So, all right, last one over here. What are we going to use? Now I need a little bit wider one. Ooh, another purple one. Let's put that one. Okay. All right. So there is my fully collaged strips of paper on the paper. And I'm going to just set that aside. Set that aside and let it completely dry before I start embossing and cutting and all the things that are going to gum up all my tools. All right, now I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and my file folder. So this file folder, first all you need to do is just decide how big you want your tags. I want to make these fairly large or long tags, and long ones can be a little bit wider so they can go down into deep pockets and pull out with those tabs on top. I like the tabs on top, and it gives me a great place to hang the dangles or to hang a charm or, you know, a ticket like this with a charm or, you know, anything else on that, and it doesn't get stuck inside of a pocket. So 3 to 3.5 inches is probably, and you know, some people even go nice wide ones and make it a big old journal card. So you can honestly make it anything, any way you want. I'm going to go about 3.5 inches on this. And I put the folded side of the paper up against my rail here. So when I cut, and I'm just using my small paper trimmer, so I have to move it down and finish the cut. But if you're cutting more than one sheet and it does fold, put the fold up against the rail, because if you cut starting here and it happens to be not exactly perfect and it, you know, moves it, then you get to the end and you've got a big clump, or I don't know what you call it, over here where it's a little skiwampus and you have a hard time getting through it and making it a nice, neat cut. But if you start on the folded side, then it's together and this is open. So if it's not exactly right, it's going to push it out, push the air out, and you're not going to have those big bubbles. So I already started on the folded side, and I'm going to do this one about 3.5 inches as well. Okay, and I just as well keep cutting them. How much do I have left? Let's see here. 3.5. And I go through. Okay, so I'll do a 3.5 here. And I will do a 3. I'm going to do a 3-inch one right here. Well, the others are 3.5. Okay. So I'm going to experiment with some. So here's some that I cut earlier, and you'll see as I cut them, you get these off-cut pieces. I'm going to experiment with
Suze
this.
is here. I haven't seen her in a while.
Hey, hi, Suze. Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while. And oops, sorry, I did not mean to leave this one up there. Good to see you, Suze. I'm going to take this and use that on a tag and use it to make pockets so that there will be a pocket here, a pocket there, and then the tag itself.
Janine Anderson is here.
Hi, Janine. Let's see here. If this is you on, Grandelia's here too. Hi, Grandelia. If this is you on Facebook, then if you will click on the link that's at the top of the post where you're watching, there's a link that will take you right to StreamYard, and then you can click yes, and it will allow StreamYard to show your name on Facebook so we can say hi to you so we know who it is. Awesome. Okay, so now you have this that is connected, right? And one side has these little folds, the expansion folds, or score marks. They're not folds, they're score marks. And one side doesn't. So the first thing that I'm going to do, these ones are already cut from earlier, so we'll deal with those. I am going to open it up, and I'm going to cut off the side that does not have the score marks. But first of all, I'm not going to cut it right at the end there. I could cut it right there, and then I could decide how long I want the tag and then cut off some more. But I'm going to think that I might be able to do something with this fold if I want it, if I don't want the tag that long, and that's pretty darn long. So I know right here would be a 6-inch tag with the tab. If I go out a little, there's a 7-inch tab plus a 7-inch tag plus a tab. So if my book was 8.5 high, that would still fit plenty well. So I'm going to cut it off right there. So there's a 7-inch tag plus a half an inch tab. Okay, and I left this attached here. And then I can look at this one the same. And if I want to create this little piece here to use on the front as a pocket of something, then I could say this one's going to be a little bit shorter so I can get a back to this pocket. So if I want a backing to that one, and then so maybe I'll make this one, about 5 3/4. So it's a little shorter tag. But now I have a nice little, it could be used for a number of things, not just a pocket. And boy, I can see that that's cut crooked. Wow. When you can eyeball it, that's pretty bad. Just straighten that up there. My eyes go crazy when it's stuff like that's crooked, so I have to straighten that out. All right, so now what I have, let's just work with these two to begin with to show you how I get to, you've got the tab already built in. The reason I want my corner rounder is because all I need to do is round the other corner, and I use the smaller of my two. Round my other corner, and there's perfect tab right there. So I could also round this one, which I like to do. I did it on this one. It's easier to see on this side. You could round the bottom ones if you wanted to. Go over here, round that one, and I'll round that one. Okay, so there are built-in tabs on those two. Now on this one, there is not a there is a built-in tab, but it's the entire length, so then it's really no longer a tab. So the first thing I'll do is cut this one to, I know that either I'm going to create a tab on that one, or it's going to become just a rectangle tag. which I can round the corners. I could leave it square. I could, it's hard to see without something behind it. I could scallop the corners, which I did with one of those previously. So I will cut that off. Say, how big do I want to have that? It's 3.5. I'll go 6, 3.5 by 6. Okay. Now I've got that to deal with. If I don't want that corner left on there, then I just come over here and go to basically the top of that, where that little dip starts, cut that. And now I have a square, or I have square corners on a rectangle. So now I can just round those and have just a rounded card. Or I can use the scallop on them. So this one, I could leave this. This is a little bit taller. I could leave that and have a nice pocket and decide how tall I want this one to be. This would also make a nice library pocket, you know, just pretty much as it is. But this is 8 and almost 3/4 inch tall. So that's pretty tall. So if I, let's see, that is 6 inches tall right there. Maybe I want to go to 7.
Baby wipes be.
I don't have them. It's not me. This time, it's not me. So there's a 7-inch tag with a built-in pocket. All I have to do is glue the 2 sides. Ready to go. And if I wanted to, I could take this part that I cut off and I could make another pocket. I'd probably put this, I'd put this dippy end here on the bottom.
Dippy end? I love that. Dippy end.
Yeah,
dippy end. Okay.
Dippy end right there.
You know what's sad is my room is kind of clean. It's pretty clean.
I can't find your baby wipes. I love it. Not
Other than my desk, you know, it's pretty clean.
I'd put that on the bottom and then I would just glue the 3. And now I've got 2 pockets on my tag. And the reason I put it on the bottom is because it's super easy to put an embellishment right there and cover it, whether it's a, you know, a word, a sticker, some washi tape, flower, whatever it is. But it's way easier to embellish and cover that right down there in the corner than it is if you put it up here on top. And now you have to get an embellishment on top, which is where you're trying to put things in. So yeah, so that will go with that. Keep looking, Candy. Keep looking. Oh, on the floor.
No, I found them. No, there's nothing on my floor. I'm serious. My room is pretty clean. I've been cleaning the last.
I knew you'd been cleaning it. So where were they?
Over on the desk.
The other desk.
Well, the built-in
desk.
Built-in desk that I have stuff on.
The other clean desk. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we've got these 2.
Oh, my feet are hurting.
So we've got, of all that, you can just look at what you cut. Cut some with tabs. That one didn't get rounded. Some with tabs, some that are rectangle. Maybe you scalp the corner, or that you have other fancy corner cutters. I know that you do, where you can make the little designs in the corner. You know, you can just sit down now and collage on these, kind of like we did on here, but you could use bigger pieces. And we're not going to do all of them. We don't have time to do all of them.
The Crafter's Book and Search game. Yeah. Before we started, too. That's what's so sad.
I'm going to do that one. All right. So I want to do on here, I want to do the background, a combination, I think, of, and you can kind of look at how much do you want to embellish it as to what you do on the background. When I finish this one, it's just way too busy. It's just way too busy for me because there's too many pieces of collage on the background to see the decorations. So with all of that on the background, it didn't need that much decoration. And if I want to do that much decoration, then I don't need that much on the background. Make sense? So I'm looking at these and I'm thinking that, and I'm half off screen here, but it's because I'm holding them up against me so they don't fall.
Now where did my bags go? The rest of them.
I'm looking at which one is going to look really nice with some of this paper that I might want to see. There's that color right there. It's only a tiny little bit, but hey, don't need a whole lot, right? Tie it together, and it's nice and light. Could bring in a little bit of darker with that. And I really love these pieces, though. I really love when we do these pieces in the splat box and just jazz up these scraps. That's really becoming my favorite of scraps. I just grabbed these right out of the splat box. So that would be really pretty with it. So I'm just gonna take a second here and look through some of these scraps that I just grabbed out of the splat box and see if I find a few that jump out at me that would go really nicely with one or more of these pieces of paper.
And my little bags are gone.
What? Oh, your little bags, where did they go?
I thought they were right here.
They're underneath whatever's on your desk.
No, I found these two, but I didn't find the one I made out of that paper.
Oh my goodness. Even scraps of Braille paper turn out really great like this. Oh, that's a cool scrap. And these. I am loving these. That one doesn't have enough on it yet.
There they are. Okay.
Okay, that's cool. Oh, these are the ones that were only half done. That's why they were still in the splat box. I should have gone to my scrap bin for the ones that were already done. I might want to use that because I really like that. All right, so let's organize this stuff here. I'm going to do one tag and one card here. And I'm liking some of this with some of this. I'm liking the texture down here. So I am going to do this. I know, don't cry because I'm tearing up this paper. I feel somebody going, ah! I know this paper is so pretty, but we have to use the stuff because there's more coming every month, right?
Yep.
Oh, can't just hang on to it. We got to quit hoarding our supplies because we're running out of room to put them in. We got to use them. There's more coming. There's plenty more. I have scoured the world and I'm hunting down the best of things for you guys. So don't worry. There is plenty more coming. Okay. That. And if I get this one underneath it, is that dark enough? Let's see. So this is a process that I go through, trying all these little pieces of paper to see, and this is what I would do on my own, not, I don't ever go through and do this ahead of time and then plan it. And maybe I should, but I like watching the process that people go through because when they just come on and they've got the exact perfect piece there and they sit down and do it, I think, well, how in the world did they come up with that perfect piece? It was just there. I can't find perfect pieces that fast. So I do like seeing the process.
Wherever.
Yeah. I like seeing the process that people go through to, eliminate or audition pieces and find what's right for it. But it does take a lot longer. So, okay, I think it's going to be something like that. Something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm going to go with the Barely Art this time. Okay. And I'm not sure that I want to keep those two little holes. I would like that all the way to the edge, but it kind of maybe just needs something underneath it. Then because I don't want to see manila folder through it. Okay. Just got to be able to hold this paper on it. I put the glue in the exact wrong place. I put it right where the hole was. That's awesome, Marianne. That's just awesome. Okay. There, now I can go all the way to the edge with that. Which should be able to do there. I'd rather have it over just a hair because I can cut that off than be shy. And then I have to cut it down, cut the tag down. And I'm going to go ahead and just glue the whole thing down. I could tear that tail off there, but not gonna. It's okay. All right. And then I like that big piece of script right there. I got a little bitty. Let's see. I'm going to tear this down a bit because now that I moved this over, I don't have that big gap to fill. I moved it over by filling those holes. But I really liked the gold that was shining out of that and that blue that ties in with this tiny bit of whatever it is right there. And I would like to get that flower on, so I got to take this down just a hair more. Let's see. If that's up there, and that is right there, then, okay. Okay. I don't want to cover up too much of that, but all right, so I'm going to glue down just this edge so I know exactly where the edge is going to be. So then I can slip my centerpiece.
Too rough.
Huh?
That was too rough.
Oh. And I can slip my centerpiece under it to position that where I want it to be. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, so let's glue this one down. Get rid of some of that white, get more of that gold down there. There we go. Like that. And then I can glue this one down. Well, wait, let me figure out the bottom first. I might need to lift it up to see. That actually go all the way over there. And then I can get this nice script down here with the rose right across the bottom. I love that. Okay, that'll work perfectly. So I need to glue this down. I don't know how far out here to come, so I'll just guess. I guess I should grab my baby wipes too. Gonna need them in a minute. My fingers. All right, and then this is going to go over the top of that. Go right to the corner. There we go. Okay, so now I can see where I need more glue. Oh, bless you.
Oh, thank you.
And a little more over here. Okay, so now I can trim this up. I probably normally grab my paper trimmer to do it because I just don't cut straight. Even cutting against the tag, I'll end up cutting the tag down. And up this side, there's just a hair hanging over. And then I'm not going to cut around those corners. I'm going to let the corner chomper do it. So that I know they're perfectly rounded and not my awkward skiwampus trying to round it. Let's get kind of full. Okay. Okay, so there is that tag. And then on this one, I will want to move those. Well, let's see. I hit that one too. That's kind of like this one. That's exactly like this one. That is. On this one, I'm going to want to put a tab. I'm going to use it as a journal card that can go down into the pocket. And I will want to create a tab. So I need to decide, what do I want to create the tab out of? Do I want to make it some of this beautiful paper? Do I want to make it some of this? Do I want to go to something that's a little sturdier? This is cardstock and it's been sprayed a ton of times, so it is a little sturdier. I'm going to find something that has kind of good color with what's already down there. I'm not really liking any of those, so I could probably even cut it out of one of these. That would be cool. That would make a cool tab. I think I might do that. If I use the copper end, brings in a little of the copper that's over here.
Yeah.
This end, it brings a little of the rose that's over there.
Part. Yeah, okay.
What?
Sticker peels off. Sure it does.
Oh, on the stickers?
Yeah.
Did you get out your pointy tweezers? That's why you have them.
I'm using my pointy tool, which is my usual.
I can't get anything off without these tweezers. That's why they went in the first box, so everybody would have one forevermore for stickers. Yeah, they're the worst, all those stickers. And these paper ones are not as bad as the acetate ones even, but that's too dark a blue.
Ouch.
Oh, Candy, you're having a heck of a time tonight.
Telling you, there they fell in.
Okay, so let's see if we can get us a tab out of that. I could even add a little bit of color to it if I want. Is there somewhere that I like? And
Yeah, nope, that ain't happening.
what?
Not happening.
Those stickers?
Nope, I'm getting it bigger. That's all there is to it.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have. They worked easily with my pointy tool, but not without with my pointy tweezer. My pointy tweezers are a sharper point, a finer tip than my pokey tool, whatever you want to call it. Your awl or the one that comes in your, where memory keepers batch or the end of your embossing tool.
I have a 10-volt one.
Yeah, my tweezers are sharper. It's a finer tip than any of those ones that I have. Okay.
I'll try it on the camera.
All right. So that was cardstock. So that's a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to bring that together, starting with the bottom so I know exactly where to fold it. I'm not going to take time to run a line there. Just there we go. So once you put that there, and you can put it all the way down, so the only part above the tag is the tab, or you can put it up just a little bit so you have a hump and then a hump. Probably put it down. You can put
my humps.
Oh man. Before you glue that down, you could do a couple of things. You could add where did it go? I know I had some here. You could add a teeny bit of lace, and this lace it's just a scrap and it has a little bit of silver. I know I have one that has gold. That's ideally what I would want on this one. And let's see here. If I could even find one. You could do this a whole nother thing on tags, but you can take a little piece of ribbon like this, and you could glue that together, and you could glue that underneath the tab, and then you have a loop basically coming down from there. You could do it with something. This one would be pretty on here because it's white with gold, so that would be prettier on there. But you could actually make a loop going down. You could do one on front and back if you wanted, and that way you would just take a longer piece from this end and from that end, and you put it over the top.
Here, let me try. Yeah. Not today.
And then you put that on, and then you have a loop in the front and the back if you wanted to hang something from it. But I was looking for what?
I said I just gave up.
Oh no!
I don't do well with the pokey tool.
Pull out those little pointy.
I did.
Oh,
it didn't work.
The tweezers.
I had both of them.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Oh, it's so much sharper than my.
Peel right off. Yeah, right. No, it won't, Marianne. Not for me. It won't. It's like that's why I ripped it off. I couldn't even get the washi tape open onto camera. I was like, "Oh, I'm done. Let's just go on. Wash it down."
All right. I'm just gonna glue this down. Shoot. Oh, and the washi tape. Yeah. Oh, get that. Oh, I had to use
the beginning of the roll.
Yeah, I had to use scissors to get the plastic off of that.
Yeah, I got the plastic off, then I just couldn't find the edge.
Yeah, I ran my fingernail around for the.
Waste time on the video, so I was like, "Oh,
yeah." All right.
You're lucky you didn't get custom on that one.
Our tab. Well, I should have put glue all the way up. Okay, so let me just say at this point, those of you who've already done unboxing videos, awesome. Thank you. I love them. If you've done one and I haven't seen it, if I haven't said anything to you or commented on it, I haven't seen it. I know that I mentioned in a couple of posts in the group, if you would do them, and please tag us with #HappyPaperBox. But I know that in the excitement, either people didn't see it or forgot, so they're not getting tagged. Some of them are getting tagged with Happy Paper People. That works too, as long as I know to go search for it. But Happy Paper Box is the official hashtag of box openings. So if I haven't seen yours, if you will please send me the link to it so that I can go watch it. And what I've done is create a playlist on the Happy Paper People channel right here. And it's a playlist of the unboxings. So anybody who did a box opening on video, I would really, really like to add you to that playlist.
I would really, really like to delete mine. How about that?
Well, you could do another one. I think yours was fine. Short and sweet. No, it was totally fine. Okay, so here is a tag. And then we will use some of the stickers. And if you have paper that doesn't have a lot of design on it, then this is a great...
Oh, Suze.
What happened?
She was sick for several months and didn't realize it till it was critical. I had aspiration pneumonia. I'm still recovering, but I am so much better. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Oh, man. So I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Grindelia, these tweezers that came in the first Happy Paper box are sharper than any of the Pokey Tools I've ever had. And I could not live without these tweezers. They are so super fine. That's why I keep this end on, because it's like stabbing you with a needle if you happen to go over the top of them. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a second because then I want to punch a hole, put an eyelet in there. But while that's drying, let's go back to this because this should be plenty dry now. I just used a glue stick. So you can do this with your scissors or with your trimmer, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to take my trimmer along the edge here and trim off these long tails. And these are all great pieces to collage the tags with. That's such a cool piece right there. I love that one. Yeah, these are perfect smaller collage pieces, but look how much of your scraps you just used up intermingled with some of that cool tissue paper. Yeah, I love that those tissue papers are 20 by 30. And then when I looked at the boxes, I thought, well, I should probably cut them in half. They'll fit better. And I thought, no way. I want to have that whole 20 by 30 to play with. So I'm just going to fold them in half and then fold them to fit the box. So they're always going to be 20 by 30, at least for the next year. And because I already bought a year's supply, one for every box, and every one of them is different. So you're going to get a different tissue paper, 20 by 30 every month. I'm excited about that.
Don't take mine.
So what? Oh boy. And the stickers, everybody asked for the stickers. They're so cute. They are vinyl. Put a little undo on them and they'll come off really nicely. But I don't know, maybe I'll go with a teeny tiny sticker just to close that. And then just give you the Happy Paper People sticker.
There you go. There you go.
Because I don't want you to tear up all your tissue paper. But the one that's on the outside of the box too, the square one, that one will peel off really nicely. Even if it takes a little box with it, doesn't matter. But because that's vinyl as well. They're both vinyl. Okay, so now this is what we have. And now we're going to emboss it and then cut it into the small strips that will become our dangles. So in order to emboss it, it needs to fit into our embossing folders. And I found that this 8.5 by 11, actually this is an A4 piece, I believe. But if you cut this into quarters, no, it's got to be 8.5 by 11. If you cut it in quarters, then it embosses really nicely. So if it's 11, that would be 5.5. So I'm going to cut it at 5.5. Awesome. And if some edges need a little bit more glue because, you didn't get all the way to the edge, that's okay. We can do that down the road. And then if this is 8.5, that would be 4.25. So if you just cut that one piece of paper into 4 pieces, then they'll be super easy to emboss. Get those tools out of the way. So these are the 4 that we need to
Pokey
emboss.
tool wins the day.
Yay, Pokey Tool! It's because we quit giving it attention. We just ignored it, and it said, fine. Then I will work.
I got on these flowers.
Oh.
Tried the tweezers. Nope, Pokey Tool.
Oh, were those acetate ones?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, those are harder. Okay, so I'm going to take these, and I'm just going to stick one into an embossing folder. Again, for those who came in later, you want an embossing folder that has lots going on. You want a wallpaper or a damask or something that has lots of texture, lots of movement. Otherwise, when you cut this up, you could end up with pieces that have nothing on them. And that's not the goal. So, but if that's what you want, then do it your way. That's okay too. So I'm just going to stick this in here. And
my way is always the right way. So
of course it is. I'm going to run it through, and so is theirs. So, and then I'm going to run it back.
No.
Only mine, right? Only yours. All right. There's one. Because I have 3 embossing folders sitting here, I will do one in each. And I don't know if I'm off screen or not, but okay. I thought it'd be easier to pull this over than to pull the electric one over. And since it's so quick and easy. All right. And these are so cool. So cool, guys. When you do this and you see, especially the back, you're going to love it. I promise. Way different than when you just use plain white paper. Okay, there's the third one. Stick it in here. Run it through. Oh, I think that just popped off the foot. Run it through. Run it back. Oh, that one's tighter. Okay. And the 4th one, last one. I only have 3, so this one's going through twice. These are just small embossing folders. That's why cutting it in quarters works perfectly. If you have great big embossing folders, you could cut it larger. But it also seems to be a good size then for cutting down to make the dangles. Okay, there we go. Forward and backward. And take that one out. Get rid of this guy. I actually had to go out to the truck to get my embossing plates. To the truck? I still have things, boxes of things that I have not had time to bring in and organize from retreat in the truck. Oh, man. Okay, let's move those over. All right, so I'm going to take this for a second and show you. If you turn over the back of the paper, look at this cool paper. The paper just looks so amazing. This is the canceled postage. Oh, it's awesome. That one looks so cool. It's because of the paper. If it was white, yeah, it'd look cool, but it wouldn't look as neat as it does with that.
Yeah, this one.
Hang on, let me see. Let me make it large. There you go. Oh, cool. I like that. See, oh yeah. That by itself would make a cool card to stick in a journal so that you can pull it out.
Yeah.
And see. I'm tempted to cut some of these in half and just use them as cards by themselves because that's so cool to be able to see that on the back side of it in a journal. So yeah, all of them. There's another canceled postage. There's like the damask, the wallpaper. Yeah, that just looks awesome. All right, so I'm gonna bring our cutter back, and if you look at the front, now you've got all kinds of cool texture on the front. So here I've got this blue. It's got a nice shine and it's got awesome texture, but that's where I'm wondering if it might be might look really cool on a solid color like that, to put just a little bit of mousse right over the top of the raised surface. Ooh, I like that even better. Because now the embossed part really stands out. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, there's another door. I have two. I have this one too.
Oh, pretty.
Now you can't see it.
Oh, that looks cool on that paper.
You can really.
I like it
too.
I like it. Okay, see, it still has the shimmer behind it. It still has the shimmer, but the raised emboss now has just a little bit of that. And on the tissue paper, because that already is a dark, I'm not sure. What is this I'm adding anyway? Tuscan Gold. I'm not sure that that's the best thing to show up. So maybe rubbing that off of my finger so I can dip into something else here.
Some of that wax, the Finnabar.
Yeah, I don't have any of that out. So, but this is Coastal Surf. I just grabbed the first 4 colors that I could find that were different colors. I wanted a blue for sure. So. And this is getting totally dry. Oh man, I got to add some water to this. Because I think that some of this blue would look really cool over the top of that next to this blue here. All right, what do I have that's blue right near me? What is this one? Honeydew. I know I'm going to have to add some water to that one and let it sit. Or take out little chunks and then use it with my paintbrush in water. I love doing that with this mousse. Okay, this one should work. Honeydew. Ooh, that's cool looking. Honeydew. This might be too light. I just think that blue would be cool because of the blue next to it. No, might be too light. Maybe not. Okay, a little bit of honeydew over the top of the, you can't hardly see that. There's not enough contrast on the TV, I don't think, but because that is fairly light. I think that a blue would be really pretty, but it's okay. I'll pull out another blue and try that later. In the interest of time, let me just flip a couple carousels around here and see if there's anything blue sitting here. Oh, there's blue patty pockets. There's blue. There's this glamour paste. This doesn't spread over the top quite like mousse does. More like gather. Yeah. See, I think if I get some dark blue mousse, that'll be perfect. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a blue crayon. A gelato. Let's see if that'll work. You can get color any way you want. You just got to find something that's, ooh, yeah, there we go. A little bit of gelato right over the top of the tissue paper, makes the embossed part blue, and the tissue paper is that vintage brown. Next to it is the blue paper, and the embossed part looks vintage brown because it's this Tuscan gold. So that's a really cool reverse color right there. So I'm going to cut it right down the middle so I get both of those on the same. Where did my crayon go? I want to get some on the other. Get a little water to it, make it a little thinner if you wanted to, but actually doesn't really need it. It's going right over the top because because you don't need a lot. All you want to, if I get a lot, it's going to go down in between and color the whole paper. And that's not what I want. So, all right. So now that we've got that, and you can always do the edges with anything anyway. Here's how I'm going to do it. All right. Yeah, I'm going to edge some of those. Man, that is cool. Okay, so this was splat box paper, just overspray. And this has a lot of metallic on it from the gel plate. And so running some of that gold mousse over the top just highlights the embossing. And I am going to do the edges. I'll probably do them with vintage photo or walnut stain or something fairly dark there. Oops, I just tore that one right on the embossing. That was a deep embossing line, embossed line. So that one's going to get cut off right there. Okay, that's cool looking. All right, so some of these others, like that one. So here's, wow. Here's the one that has the reverse, the blue with the Tuscan gold on top, and then the vintage brown tissue paper with the blue on top. That turned out really nicely.
Yeah, I gotta cut these up, then I gotta get ready to go.
Yeah, about that time. All right, so let's, we've got all kinds of them here. So this one has purple. I'm not gonna put anything on top of these like the mousse that we just did. I'm going to cut these. Like, love it. This was overspray from the splat box. So it's got purples and blues and greens and very light, and then a little bit of that vintage tissue. This one will have vintage tissue mostly with a little bit of the overspray. It's that embossing. It's the embossing that makes it. It's, I mean, I don't know that it's showing up on screen. I think it's easier when it's like that, but it's the embossing on it, front and back, that makes it look so darn cool. Even on the back, that's a fabulous little dangle or tag all by itself. But then on the front with your collaged pieces on it, it's just the finishing touch. Absolutely the finishing touch. So let me okay. So I like them to not be 100% one. I want some variation. So I've got variation in texture visually as well as what's the word? Tactilely. And when you feel it, there's texture. When you look at it, there's textural differences because of the tissue paper and the overspray paper or gel prints. And you've got all kinds of colors. So I can just have all these ready to go. And then when I want to use them as dangles or use them on, you could even take this, would make such a cute little belly band on a tag. So you could make a tag, and then you could use this as the topper. If I bend it, it's going to break because it's deeply embossed. But you can fold this over and make that the tag, the tab. And then you could use the other part of it, or one that's matching as a belly band. You could put a small belly band down here and just put something small in it, not have to go across the whole entire thing. I don't like to do belly bands on tags this way because it's just too easy for them to fall through. So, okay. So if I come over here, then what I would do is cut a hole either on the tab or on the corner of the tag.
Ready?
Mhm.
We're getting ready to go.
Okay. You guys travel safely.
We will. We're just going to go until we can't. Then we're going to get a hotel.
Yeah. Okay.
finish
But it's nighttime, and sometimes there's crazy at night.
Well,
Watch out.
It's the deer we got to watch right now.
I
Here.
would say watch out for the animals running across the road, and
we're in rut right now, so we got to really watch that.
Yes, you do have to be careful of that.
So yeah, we're gonna head out, ladies. It's been fun. I'm sorry I didn't get to finish my stuff, but Eric is calling my name, ladies.
You got to go get our little buddy. We're all waiting for him. So,
okay.
So glad he'll be here next week. You'll finish him when you get back next week. Post him then.
My room was clean when I started, ladies. God, it was.
Oh, nice. Okay, who is this on Facebook? If this is you that just posted, go up to the top of this where you're watching, and there's a link to StreamYard. Just click it and go in there, and so StreamYard can put your name.
And she's opening an HPP box.
Yes, so we know who it is. We definitely want to know who just got the
box. Bye, ladies. Take care.
Hi.
Have fun with your boxes.
Bye, Candy. Thank you.
Bye.
Be safe. We'll be thinking about you.
Sorry, I'm cutting out early, but
no, that's okay. We'll be done within 20 minutes. So
okay, all right. See you, ladies.
Good to see you too. Yes. Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Okay, so you can I'm going to put this hole either on the tab or on the corner of the tag. Your choice. I think I'm going to put it on the corner of the tag because I want to leave the tab free for pulling in and out because it will be used as a tab. Okay, and I'm going to put a tiny eyelet right there so the paper just doesn't get torn out. So let me find something that is kind of sort of similar in color. Then it just kind of blends in. It doesn't really show. I mean, a lot of this is bronzy, but right there, it's kind of pink. Kind of pink. Right where that hole is. I didn't even look at exactly where he put it. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. All right, those look like our best bets. So another place that those very sharp and pointy tweezers come in handy is I use them to go in here and get one individual eyelet. Okay, that's nice, and that actually goes with that rose very nicely. It's just a nice soft pink, but I'm almost wondering, it makes it look more pink because this is kind of more sandy color, and this one is just a little lighter. Yeah, I can't do this with my fingers. So much easier to do with these teeny tiny tweezers. Yeah, just put it right there, hold it down. There we go. That's better. That's a much better match. Okay. Love these tweezers. Okay, if there's anybody here who did not get in the Happy Paper box and wants in now that you've seen it, and if you've seen any of the box openings, there is a playlist now go in there. There's a playlist here on this channel that has the box openings that I've seen so far. If you did one, please send me the link to it because I want to watch it and also want to add it to the playlist. That would be really awesome. But if you've seen it and you didn't get in on the Happy Paper box and you want to get in on it, shoot me a message because I packed some extras. I did. Of course I did. I just want everybody to be happy and get it if they want to. And there's so much fun, cool stuff in it. And there were a couple people that asked, could they buy a second one now because they really love the book. And yep, I packed extras. So just shoot me a message. Just shoot me a message. Tell me whatever you want. And we'll work with it. Okay, I'm going to do the edges of this because that will make it a little more cohesive because this paper was light. And we've still got this blue that just kind of jumps out in the center. But I really liked it so the whole thing wouldn't be super, super dark. And also because it fits in with this little aqua colored stuff that's right here in that paper. So I'm going to kind of break these edges up just a bit with a little bit of vintage photo, but we can also embellish it. All right. So in a very simple way to use these dangles, I'm sure you've already thought of 100 ways. I'm sure you have, because every time I look at them, I think of more ways to use them. And you guys are way more creative. Okay, so, and I don't want them all to be all the same length. Like this one, I took three different lengths, and I didn't do anything to them, just cut them. And I didn't even put an eyelet in them because they're just going onto the bulb pin right there and a charm. So, but I may. I like this, kind of looks rose gold with that. And then that ties in. So I do like that. I didn't use any of the tissue paper on this one. Not that I can't use it there, but it's not necessarily a tie-in. I like that. See, they're kind of the same. So there's others that are not going to be the same that will still tie in. That one's cool with the tissue paper with the blue on top of it. And then that copper or rose gold. Let's see what I have from the last one that I cut. This one I cut sideways. Actually, yeah, like that, horizontally, so that I just wanted to see what they look like. And they work fine because these are all thin papers. If you had thicker papers, you would have break points here, and it wouldn't be very structurally sound. It would be, kind of compromised right where they meet. But these don't. They're really flexible because they are thin papers. If you do it on cardstock, it's a little more difficult to get good embossing, but you certainly can. You can do it on anything you want. And again, I love it on these papers because of the back. The back looks just as good as the front. Different, but just as good as the front. Okay, so we've got a variety of things. That's purple and blue, which doesn't really go with that. So I'm going to knock out all the purple and blue right away. We can also see what I would do is just sit down and make a whole bunch of them, cut all of these up, and then be able to, pick and choose whichever ones you wanted to use. And as a matter of fact, because those all came from the same one that I cut, I'm going to put them over here, those ones that might work. But I want to cut one of these other ones that's going to have some different pieces so they don't all just look alike. And you can cut them as fat or thin as you want. And, just depends on what you're going to use them for. Okay, I really like those two. But I don't want them all to be the same. And where's our tag again? That blue is a little too blue for that. So that's pretty good. Maybe right there. Okay. So if I like that to be the short one on the front, and I'm just gonna layer 3, I think. And maybe I'll layer 4. I don't know. Okay, if that's the longest, how long do I want the longest to be? Probably 3.5 inches, I'm going to say. All right, so if that one's 3.5 inches, and then the next one is... No, I want that to be the bottom. Okay. 3, 2.5. And if that is 2, Okay, they could even go just a little bit less than that. I'm just kind of lining them up and gauging them by size where I want to cut. No exact measurements. Just kind of proportionally where I want them. So looks like I'm putting 4 on this one. All right, so I'm going to cut a little hole. The other thing you could do is do, actually I should just put them all together and do the hole all at the same time. So they'll all be the same height. You could do one eyelet through all of them. They probably wouldn't twist so well. You could do a brad, but the brad's not going to hang on a bulb pin quite, so easily. Let's put this back in here. There. It's just one. It's such thin paper. There's only 2 layers each, so this can easily go through a dozen layers of paper. So that wasn't bad at all. All right, so I'm going to get maybe a bronze bulb pin. And I'm going to put, let's see, which way direction do I want it to hang? I wonder if this will go. That will. Okay, perfect. All right, so if it hangs down that way and my charm will go over that end, then that means these guys are all now not in line. These guys will all go that way, and my charm will just go over the top and has to go in first. They need to be in front, not in back. That was silly. Okay. Through the tag first. We didn't embellish the tag yet. And then my charm. Then close it up. Then when I let that hang upside down, the charm will hang right through there. Okay, so there's a little pen nib charm and 4 of those. And you don't have to put 4 of those. You could use 1 and then put some other things on it. You could use 2. You could actually... I really like that one. You could take... Let's see what we've got in the scrap lace bin. Hi, Dawn Marie. I didn't see you come in earlier. It was Dawn Marie. Were you the one on Facebook? Awesome. And you just got your box? Yay. I'm so excited. Dawn Marie, did you or are you going to do an unboxing video? There's the little piece of scrap with the gold that I was looking for before for the other one, because I had some with the silver on it. Okay, so I'm rifling through this little scrap bin here, trying to find... Let me just show you what I'm doing here. I'm sure I grabbed the right scrap bin. There were some specific pieces of scraps that I was looking for. It might work. Okay, so we had a kind of purplish, some kind of purplish ones. Scissors. I'm just going to kind of take that up there. Even putting this on with this or behind it, either way you want to. Punching a little hole, and I'm just using the smallest hole on the crocodile. Oh, that got a little closer to the top than I would want. Because of that, then I think I would use an eyelet because it got close to the top. I think that's the darker one. Get hold of that. And let's see, get that through that hole and then put it right through that hole. Got to keep it in there and not push it out with the crocodile. Okay, I lit those two together, and then could grab a silver bulb pin and, oh, look at this cute little cat charm. Margie still here? Trying to get a hold of a silver charm, and they're metal and they're sticking to my little bowl that is magnetic. Okay. There you go. So you could use it like that as a charm or on a tag or on the book, anywhere. So it's got the purple and it's got the silver glitter, and then there's some purple on there, which makes it all tie together. But again, it's that embossing. The embossing just makes it. And look at the back, because we use that paper that is such cool paper. These just look awesome on the back. Really amazing on the back. You got to try this, guys. You got to try this. And you can take one piece of paper and get a ton of these strips, because I cut it into 4, embossed each one of them, and then you cut each one of them into strips. So you only, I know you're looking at that and going, I don't want to use up that paper, but you got 24 pieces of that. So take one and use it to do this. And this is the one that I use because it's got such great texture that it looks fantastic embossed. You will not be sorry. I promise you will not be sorry. So this could stay just like this. This could be decorated here. I don't know. It's kind of telling me that maybe it needs a little bit of lace somewhere, something on here, maybe lace and a small embellishment. But that's kind of cool. And I'll make a nice little journal tag right there. And then there's another one ready to go for something else. And this one that I really like the dangle, but I really don't like the tag. The tag is just way too busy because on this, it has a lot of collage pieces. This has less collage pieces. There's a lot of collage pieces, which would have been fine just by itself, but then adding the decorations on it, the decorations just get lost, in my opinion. So I don't know if I might try to pull some of them off or do something over the top. This is just a little piece of that doily that we cut out with that new punch. I cut one in half and used half over 3/4 for something else. That was the little piece that was left. This right here and this right here. I know I've mentioned a couple of times that when I cut thumb notches, I keep the little piece that pops out. This little piece, that's what those are. That's what this is. It is not a full circle. This is not a full circle. Those are only like little thumb notch pieces. So when those pop out, I just throw them in a little bowl on my desk. Use them all the time. They're great for layering. So, but yeah, I think that this is just way too busy. And you can't see some of the cool things like this tiny little bingo card, and the typewriter got completely lost. The washi does stand out, which is really cool. This is awesome, awesome washi. So maybe all this needs is maybe a nice little clock like this. Doesn't need a whole lot of anything. A clock, a little bit of washi, and a one of these little labels might be just enough for it. Where's our washi? Across there, and yeah, so all right, so this is exactly why you got these tweezers. The ones with the acetate backing are the worst, are the hardest. These paper ones are not exactly easy either, and they're pretty thin, which makes them even harder. But these are terrible. I mean, tear-able. They're not terrible twos. They are tear-able. Because the front and back is both paper. So try to grab hold of the back and scratch the back, and a little piece might tear up like that you can get a hold of. You don't want to do that to the front because then you kind of ruin your label. But these are way sharper, way pointier than any pokey tool I've ever had, and I have 3 or 4 of them. And I have 3 awls, and they're sharper. This is sharper than any of those, and that's why I love these. So I'm going to put this down right there. We don't need a lot on this one. I'm going to take a little piece of this washi. Now y'all know that washi is Japanese paper tape, and it is not intended to be permanent. It is movable and removable. So if you want to put it down somewhere and you want it to be permanent, put a little glue on it. All I do is just put a tiny bit down the center, because when you lay it down, and that's even too much, just spread that down. When you lay it down, it just squishes top and bottom, and it'll hold it in place. But yeah, if you want it to stay in place, put some glue on it. Too many people say, I don't like washi because it doesn't stay in place. It's not supposed to. It is not supposed to. The definition of washi is Japanese paper tape that is meant to be movable and removable. Okay, so then I'm just going to put this right over the top of that. And this is just it's a Mente fussy cut clock. That's what that is. Now I need something in the center. If I'm not going to put clock hands on it, I could put a dot of Nuvo drops. Or let's see, I know there's some little tiny stickers in this pack. There's a teeny tiny clock that you could put in the middle, because they could be doing different things. You know, there's tachometers and barometers and all kinds of things. There's a little teeny tiny whatever that is. I'm not even sure. I thought I saw some numbers. There's one. There's a teeny tiny, ooh, is it a 6 or a 9? I guess it's whichever you want it to be. I'm going to put that right in the center. So all I'll try to do is kind of push against it and bend and push towards the back. And that makes, I don't know if you can see that, that makes the paper that's on the backing fold. As it bends, it makes it easier to get up. So I can see it folded. Now I just get this down in between it. There you go. And I think I'll let it be a 6. It is a sticker, so it might not stick forever. So I'll put a little bit of glue on it, and I'll put that in the center. And I don't want it to be straight. So that is plenty of embellishment for this tag. There, just enough. It also covers some of the place where there's connecting points, so it looks a little more fluid. And then there's our cute little dangle, our pen nib, and it's ready to go. So that is our project for tonight. What I would love to see is not only this project, if you make some, post them in the group as always. Definitely want to see that. But I would also love to see, I'm looking for the top to this. I'd love to see any other things that you guys make with the items out of your Happy Paper box. Because since we all have the same box, when you make something, it's going to give all of us ideas, additional ideas of things that we can do with our supplies from the box. And there's a lot. You know, when you have like a pack of stickers, we used 2 of them right here. So I can't remember how many there was in this pack. Every pack I get has a different amount. So say there's 40 stickers. We got enough to do 18 more things. So let's see here. Oh, I love my magnet bowl too. I do too. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I really would like to see the ones that you make and other ideas that you have. So we didn't, time just flies. The, on the first one that I did, you can see that I used our butterfly stamp and did some stamping there. I also did that on some of the squares before I embossed. If you want to stamp, do it before you emboss. So some of these that are kind of, they seem a little solid color. If you want to just add a little more texture with a stamp them, then emboss them. So that's what I did using that. And this washi's awesome, and it's going to last forever using little pieces and strips like that. But I love it. It is so cool. Yeah, make stuff, post it. And anytime you post something that has any of these supplies in it, if you would tag it with hashtag Happy Paper Box. This is a new one, so I know we have to get used to that. But if you'll tag it with Happy Paper Box, it'll be easier for everyone to poll, whether it's in the group or in YouTube, to see what you've made and to see your box opening. We had some fabulous box opening videos. They're so fun. I got so excited watching them, and I knew what was coming, but I just got so excited watching them because of your enthusiasm. So thank you for that. That was just a lot of fun. And again, if you've made one, please send me the link so that I can add it to our list. But if you will hashtag, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, your Facebook, the Facebook in the group, anywhere that you post the unboxing or the box opening or things that you're making using the box, if you will hashtag, in fact, I'm going to do this. If you will hashtag Happy Paper Box, there, it's in the chat. Go in and put it going across. But if you'll hashtag Happy Paper Box, then it'll be easier for everybody to find, and we can share ideas that way. So please do that. And we're going to do this every month. So every month when the box comes, if you do an unboxing video, then I want you to tag your video with hashtag Happy Paper Box so that I can find them, because I'm going to put a playlist every month right here on our channel, because other people like to go in. They know it's in there because they got their box, but they like to go in and watch everybody else's unboxing too. It's fun, and they're short and sweet and just a lot of fun. And I'm going to do some random drawings from all those hashtags of Happy Paper Box, because I appreciate you taking the time to do that. So I will do random drawings from that. And I'm going to choose some each month to put on the website. There will be pictures of the box, and I'd like to post some of the box openings on there so that when people come to the website and they want to go look at the box, they usually go straight to the videos. They're short. Go to the videos before they go to some of the other pictures, because the video is live and it's much easier to see what you have. So yeah, don't forget to use that hashtag Happy Paper Box. So wow, we got a lot of hashtags going on. Don't forget your November. There's still plenty of time to get in on the November challenge using pumpkin or turkey text or script, ink, and purple. And you could use the things from the box too if you wanted to. And when you post that, hashtag HPPNOV prompts, at the end of the month, we will draw from those prompts, and the winner will get a $10 credit towards either our live sale or the website, whichever you choose. And I haven't put out the actual schedule yet, but just so you know, we will do a Black Friday sale. So that will be on Friday. I just don't have the time yet. If you have preference, put it in the chat. Some people have said not to do it in the morning because people may be out shopping. Others say in the morning because by afternoon we're napping. Do you have preference, morning, afternoon? Does it even matter? But we may do a Laugh and Craft that night too. So maybe we'll do an afternoon sale and then just a hangout Laugh and Craft Friday night. We will also do sale on Saturday after Thanksgiving. We'll probably do one on Monday because it is Cyber Monday. Actually, they've now named it Cyber Week. So I'm thinking of something special to do for that week as well. So, but definitely plan on Friday and Saturday for sure. And then we'll go from there. But somewhere in there, whether it's Friday or Saturday, we got to do a laugh and craft and have some games and get Doug in here and just hang out and play and have some fun. Work on some of our unfinished projects. Boy, I got more unfinished projects now than I ever have. And I'd really like to get them done by the end of the year so we can start fresh. So let's see, any other, being on the other side of the world makes it tricky? Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Julie. Just glad that you're here whenever you can be here. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you have fun creating with your new Happy Paper box. I have had fun putting it together, and I'm already getting the things out ready to pack for December's. So very excited about that. Again, if you were one of the ones that said you wanted another box, a second one of these, or if you didn't get in on it, shoot me a message and let's talk. Okay, you guys have the rest of a great night. It is Friday, so have an awesome weekend. Thank you, Elisa. I appreciate all of you. I really do. And I'll be pulling these hashtags all the time because I can't wait to see what you guys make with these. I will see you in the group over the weekend, and then we'll see you for Monday Jumpstart. Have a great one. Love you all. Good night.